again, right now we've only got 2 teams going melee. These are the 2 teams that we've expected, Radiance and Exodus. This has been their drop points on Erangel through this entire series, as we can kind of see where everybody else is landing. We're not really expecting much for contention here. Snow Patrol is going to probably grab a vehicle very close to Duel. That might be the quickest that we'll see for a fight. Atheris as well, as we can see a little intermingled there with Team Clueless. Darth might be looking for a vehicle as well, but Pistola Time is going to beat him to that intersection. So off the bat, really right now is we're just waiting for teams to touch down and see where that first circle takes us, because there we go.
Call it? Or did I call it? Love it. Love to see it.
Are we caster cursing us? You know what, guys? We say that on purpose. We say things hoping that the PUBG gods are listening and that we are going to get exactly this. But that means that Radius and Exodus don't have much to do. We've got a couple teams there on the southern road that can hold that first circle, prevent some of those early rotations. But if you're some of these teams to the north, what's your thought right now? Especially ATC, who's all the way up to Kameshki.
For this one specifically, too, like if you look at that actual melee-based circle,
it's the top of the hill, and I think might already see some shots there from Fizzle. He's going to find the opening knock onto D-Treats. As we see Sock start to go wide, looking for another angle onto this.
Oh, I love these angles coming out from Elusive right now, and that's going to be a flush on D-Treats.
I mean, that's definitely not a player you want to lose if your Comet's D-Treats. One of their highest damage players is Yaxley, is going to take a lot of damage, lying prone to try to avoid getting knocked, but now we see the rest of Elusive taking this push up here, trying to maintain control. As Sub-Zero is going to get found by Sock. Jay All Day goes down as well. And Fizzle pulling back to get a little bit of heal. He's only got bandages, but should have plenty of cover from this, so a good mix of...
Fizzle out.
Here we go, and Victor setting up right now, has spotted in a beautiful headshot there. That's another down for Elusive. So Comets are down to a 3-man, but they've still got 3 up. And right now, putting the pressure here onto Elusive. That's going to force them back a bit with 2 players right down. Jay All Day is still bleeding out. T-Sock trying to make a move here as Victor looking for the flush there on a nade. I don't think they're going to get the resin. There you go, knocked out. And now evened out here as smokes are out. T-Sock trying to get this res. This is a really good time for Comets. Do you push or do you hold the compound here? Oh, they don't even know.
Super dangerous.
Oh, Cherry. Jerry's going to take a lot of fire there from H1 as we see Nade coming out, landing just beyond him as Profi's actually going to find the knock immediately. Picked up though, and
more shots are ringing out here, but looks like Duel and Tony V, the rest of them are just getting out of there. Unfortunate for Cherry, that was just caught kind of by surprise. Sonic's really good punishment on Cherry, though. He was out of position and they made him pay for it. But what is this?
Oh, there you go. Duel. Hard crash here. Taylor J actually knocked and flushed. And Tony looks like trying to push on the rest of this compound. I think still is somebody here? No, we are going to win this out. Rest of great headshot from him as well here. So now see Pistola Time, who I think's kind of been the best player here for Clueless. And he's going to get a knock onto Winnie. Tries to pick up a second, but immediately Aguila cleans that up. Pistola Time gets knocked, but again, 2 players down right now for ATC as NHS is actually going to find a knock there on Aguila. That's 3 down right now. And unfortunately, Aguila very far separated from the rest of his squad. Might be an easy flush here as Nitrogen starts to push his way over there, and we can see right now trying to get the pop-up. Maro is going to get res as Winnie is in the process of getting picked up right now by Marcelic, but this is a dangerous spot to be for all these players.
Yeah, they can't hold out there too long because eventually they will slide a nade or a molly into there. Aguila had a fantastic position and a great off angle to punish, but he had no support. He was basically playing the anchor. And because of that, once he went down, he was pretty much dead. And all trolls in chat, or excuse me, any trolls in chat, I don't know why I keep calling all, need to start spreading out if they can, find some sort of refuge, maybe deeper into Novo, because this is a very bad spot.
Oath is coming in. Oath Snakers is going to get the knock onto Pistola Time, and that's going to help out ATC just a bit, taking Team Clueless down 1 more. As we can see, well, now I think a little bit of fluster and frustration here. Clueless needing to regroup now, realizing that not only does Oath have the circle, but he's got the angle on this.
Any trolls in chat really need to decide, as well as Team Clueless, whether they want to rotate in from the north or come in from the east, because they're running out of time. And I like this push.
Ooh, and it's hard to see right now, but even off the distance, Caps has view of this, but Pistola time with the M4 will get the flush there on Marcelic as we continue to lose more and more players for ATC, just down to Maru and Winnie, and here comes the blue cleaning it, but Patrick tried to go wide, has been spotted out by Winnie, as Pistola time watching the gaps in the wall, looking for that next opportunity to knock. They got Aguila this way, and trying to get one more, as we can see Maru actually is going to get found by NHS from another angle, and there you have it, cleaned up. Any trolls in chat going out in 16th, but immediately Snakers with an angle on this, getting Pistola down to 20. Ooh.
A fight here on the mountain with Hardships and Elusive. It looks like T-Sock may be not long for this world as Fizzle hits the deck, getting shot all the way from the top from Radiance. Ooh, but a knock here. Wait a second, Livid.
Oh, we've got so many players in this area. Kaden cleans this up. T-Sock and Jay all day flushed out. Will pick up the kills, taking him away from Hardships as we now see Maluk rotate, trying to get the angle onto this. Kaden, no, will go out. There we go. Is knocked down. And Soup's still in the area. There's the flush there. Maluk finds it. And J-Sank pulling back to Linda Hand. So Hardships kind of a bit split onto this. We see Chuba off out in the distance on the minimap right now, trying to hold out against Comets, who haven't pushed in as well. Is just a rainbow down there on the minimap. So many teams trying to come in onto the same spot.
And this terrain, I might add, it's really it's multi-layered, so it's difficult to fight on simply because you don't always know who is above you or who's below you. I mean, your team may have an idea, but it's just there's so many different angles that you can get trapped or shot from. Not to mention Radiance, who can see this whole fight going on as Maluk takes some shots. Ooh. Oh, he goes prone. You gotta hit those.
One more.
Oh no.
Mitchie Boy gets very low, but Maluk can't find the knock. Just above Snow Patrol, though, is Fizzle. So we've got Elusive, or what's left of them, in this area as well. And, I mean, again, you said Radiance still has a good sight on this position, but I think they've got a couple teams holding them down. As we can see now, Chuba still holding off Comets, trying to catch Yaxley here on this rotation. It's a little bit separated from the rest of his teammates. Bullets coming in this area, though. Maluk is not safe, trying to get the res onto J-Sync. They want to stay 3 up here.
I mean, that's going to be their best option, right? Because as they move forward, especially in this terrain, the position that they're holding, which is good, they're going to need as many members as possible to hold off the pushing teams, because they're going to start coming in from the north, they're going to start coming in from the west, and they're going to start coming in from the south. So they're going to need as many as possible. But Chuba with a nice knock onto Comet, Sub-Zero, and a flush.
There we go, and that's going to help out Hardships as well. Chuba had been off just to the west, will be able to rejoin his teammates, though. He needs to get back in and without being seen by Snow Patrol or Radiance, as we can take a look over at the mount, but they've got the view, and Snow Patrol is unfortunately going to find Chuba, as we can see in the kill feed. Crawfresh and Hershey are going to clean that up, and look at this. We've got so many teams just hanging out, chilling at the base of this mountain right now. Roth lying low. I mean, we're in phase 4. The circle going to close in about a minute. I think that might be the dictation here of when these teams are going to move. But, here we go. Hard push now coming in from Carnage, as Yaxley is going to leave the game. With it go Comets.
Yeah, if this circle shifts south, by the way, off center, it's going to be a bloodbath up in the north. All those teams are going to have to come down off the mountain. Radiance, Zenith, Snow Patrol, and they're going to just absolutely mountain.
Ooh, and there we go. Snow Patrol have line of sight there on Carnage. Delta is actually going to get knocked there by Sneak Tag. Ooh, Mitchie Boy, some good bullets there onto the Hardships, but I mean, they've got a long way to go and a lot of squads to move through. Fizzle right in front of them. Oh, here you go, waiting, trying to find the first knock on Crawfresh. He doesn't get it. Sneak Attack gets the finish, but immediately J-Sank on the trade. Hardship's going to get a knock here onto Snow Patrol. And here comes the Molly. Huge. Hershey. Sneak Attack is not going to survive this. Hershey very low, trying to pop off those meds before he gets taken down. That's only going to leave Crawfish and Mitchie Boy up here at full stack. But there you go, Hershey popping off that first aid kit. Another nades are out there trying to put the pressure onto J-Snake from behind. Carnage going to do a lot of damage, will find a knock, but Maluk went wide, finds Mitchie Boy. Snow Patrol is in trouble.
And Maluk, nice try. I really liked what Hardships was doing there, to be honest. They knew they weren't going to get in. That run was going to be very detrimental for 2 members. So they tried to just put as much pressure as they could on Snow Patrol to get as many points as possible. But in the end, they got flanked, and Maluk was only able to get a knock. But it looks like Crawfresh now trying to just do what he can to sneak in, but Carnage is not going to let him in.
Oh, a lot of pressure coming in from Carnage. Crawfresh dips here into Delta,
froze.
tries to find the knock. There you go, he's gonna get it. Looking for that point as Shrimzy from the distance takes him out. Sonics clear this out. And there we go, Crawfresh will get credit onto Delta, but oh, Dodge. Dodge is in here too. When did they even push in?
They snuck in somewhere as Maji now tries to get out. Just reckless abandon, runs straight to the south. He doesn't actually have the worst rap here. The only issue is if he gets seen by either Radiance or Sonics. But if he can make it into the circle in the south, he's relatively safe. And oh, look at this.
Oh, H-Win and Mime popping off, picking off Radiance, picking off Maji, Carnage. Oh, look at this. Just, it is, I mean, like you said, they've got the perfect angle on this.
Dodgers, they're actually going to be able to just peek over and just lay into Zenith.
Oh, there we go. Dodge is actually going to get found out by Mime. A quick clean as Crop and Monty are going to fall to themselves and the zone. Not sure if they quite realize how close he is. There you go. H-Win spots about the Profi picks it up. McCoy tried his best. But that is it for Radiance. They go out in 7th place, and that's 7 kills now. He's actually going to take some for Poonage, and that means that Exodus has their backs turned right now to the Sonic approaches. Mime tries to find a knock, but it's going to be Pat Caps that immediately picks that up. Mime is flushed. Oh, it needs to reload. Profi goes down as well, so that's 2 right now out for Sonics. H-Win and Shrimzy trying to find an angle on this, but they're just struggling. Duel is not lending much of a hand, but H-Win from afar going to try to maybe take some members of Duel out.
And that's wild to me. Duel this whole time had clear line of sight on what was going on with Exodus. I mean, they could have really intervened, but actually they just worked together to take down the Sonics, which it's only Win and Shrimzy left. Oh, nice shot.
Oh, Wooly getting a beautiful headshot there onto Win. It's just Shrimzy up as who kind of watch this fall apart in front of us. Good overhead view. You can see exactly where these teams need to go to get into safety. Exodus, though, is still going to hold this side of the street as Lampalot now coming in to join along with Duel. Pat Caps with 3 kills to his name so far. They've lost Taylor J, but look at it, here we go. Duel actually is going to find out the last of Sonics. They go out in 6, but immediately another knock as well into Exodus.
It's just Drassel now. What can he do? Stuck inside the shack. So many smokes, but also so many grenades. Oh my goodness, the fact that he's still alive. Molly's coming out. Drassel is getting zoned out completely. And where has this duel been this entire time?
This is what you want to see popping off there. We'll pick up the flush on Drassel. See Poonage take it out as well. In Duel right now in a really good position with 6 kills just on the edge of zone. Zenith, meanwhile, has been in a little bit of a battle with the Theris and Oath as we see Mardonis fall to the blue zone.
To deal with Oath, which they've been dealing with, and to be honest, Oath has been kind of bullying them.
Ooh, and it's going to be an exchange of knocks as both Snakers and Tony V go down. And Oath trying to find the angle on this as Relo overextends just a little bit too far, gets hit there by Zenith, and trying to take advantage of this chaos. I mean, both teams, meanwhile, Duel finishing off their reses. They're going to be 3 back up, but Relo gets found, and Roth creeping across the street. He's managed to get over, and now looking for that angle. Oath might not realize he's here just yet. Finds one knock. Balefrost goes down. Oath is starting to fall apart here. Snakers in front. Can he find a knock on Wolf? He does. There's just 1 player left for Oath, but Roth falls down. No!
It's just Snakers. But at the same time, Duel was giving Zenith some trouble by picking off the cross. It's just Wooly now, though, on the other side.
Smokes.
This is risky. He has 1 smoke.
Oh, take the nade. Do it. He knows right now that Zenith is going for that res. He can time this perfectly. Gets the flush onto Roth. Lada's going to take a bit of damage. That's going to give him just a bit of time to try to pop this off. No smoke out on this right now. And Wooly, meanwhile, trying to move up a little bit closer, find the flush here on Relo and Wolf in front of him. He gets Relo. Trying to find out Snakers, but Balefrost is going to get the knock here.
Yeah, unfortunately, that flush cost him his life.
Oh, and its circle is closing here into phase 9. Playing the edge is not going to work too well for some of these teams. Tony V, the last player still up, are going to get flashed themselves to see the animation up as now Oath trying to take this push just a bit. The circle's getting a little bit closer. Tony V has been found. That's it for Duel. Down to our top 2 immediately. A knock and flush there As now it is a
Oh,
1v2 situation. 9 HP. He's on the edge of zone, but Balefrost finds it. Oath taking victory on game number 1 here with 11 kills. Woo.
What a hard-fought game, too. Sure, they were given the circle.
Trolls in chat dropped last match, taking that spread up between Stalber and Kamishki. As we see any Trolls take a jump towards the George Paul direction, they've got Carnage yet behind him. So look at this. I mean, this is a little bit different than what we're used to seeing for some of these squads. Oath is actually going to land on Millie with Exodus, and it looks like, Styles might have been a little bit late. That's going to be really difficult. In fact,
that's an understatement.
It might be a full AFK drop here.
Yeah, it's either he went AFK or potentially crashed. I'm not sure. Looking over, though, at Zenith and Dodge, potentially sharing a little bit of Yas, or at least towards the east side of it. And then we also have Exodus. I mean, this is not a surprise for us, but look at Oath. Oh.
Oh, right. I mean, once again, Oath is going to position themselves pretty early on in the circle. We've got Comets as well in a nice position along with the Hardshifts, as they're going to have a good central position. But, again, now a little...
Where he's the most comfortable. This is where we saw Tempo dominate for so long, 3 phases. I mean, if there was any circle that I think they would be most comfortable in, or they would be able to play the best in, it has to be this circle. And I'm really expecting something big from Hardships this game.
Some damage onto this. Roth looking for the knock. Hasn't found it just yet. Disciple actually found out there by Kickstart is going to get him here. And he has been left behind from the rest of his squad. That's going to be an easy pickup here for Zenith, as Lada's going to pick that up. And, I mean, here comes the blue as well. This is only phase 1. They're going to have to continue rotating and find their safety in the zone, as we can start to see the kill feed now. Looks like Atheris and Carnage are popping off as well. And so all of these teams that were starting their rotations here on the edge of zone are starting to kind of run into one another.
What is Roth doing? I'm so
It got a little bit close to where Maluk and Balefrost... No. Actually, it's going to be NHS that gets found out there by J-Sank. So a little bit of the split here between Clueless and Hardshifts. It looks like Hardshifts are going to take a big advantage out of this. But meanwhile, Delta taking out Los for Radiance. We've got teams rooting
throughout the map. I mean, those guys, we've seen them frag really hard as well.
And and here comes the first circle shifted.
Clover.
This is my fault. It's my fault, and I take full responsibility for jinxing it towards Primorse. But look at this.
Be proud. I called the first base Billy. You called the second game Prim. I love it. Let's just keep this bolt.
So close to Taylor J. We see Crawfresh and Hershey coming for the push. Lowe's is actually going to get the opening knock out of this. But Mitchy Boy trying to return fire. Taylor J. has got a really good angle. He's going to get Mitchy Boy down low. Still 100% HP. Mitchy Boy's got a nade. I don't know if he let it go, but immediately is going to get picked back up. Exodus needs to be a little bit careful out of this. And there goes Snow Patrol. Easy cleanup, but they lose Drassel in all of this, and Poonage.
So, yeah, they did end up cleaning that fight.
For their stake here into Quarries, we can see them start to push in from the low ground. Aguila and any Trolls just on the other side of this, as it actually looks like Marcelic is going to find Nitrogen. Clueless is also here in Quarry off to the east, so Carnage have an opportunity to capitalize on this while ATC is currently preoccupied, as they look for their way up safely here on top of the rocks. I think just struggling just a bit to find it. There you go. Patrick not really in a position to help out his teammates right there, as Profi also pushing in. So it's a lot of information for these squads, but Marcelic is going to pick up the flush onto Nitrogen.
Ooh, and Witty getting very low as well. As I really want to know what Carnage's play is. Because they do have one member of ATC very close.
Oh, Relo. You're so close, buddy.
It's going to be a big test for Duel. As I say that, Lamp gets shot in the back by Batty Lol. Unfortunate.
If you're Oath, now is the time. But there we go. Zenith taking this push onto Elusive. They're just on the edge of zone, coming in from the beach. As Kickstart looks for it, doesn't find it just yet. T-Sock's got a really nice angle up in the window, but Roth very low, bleeding out very quickly. This is not looking good for Zenith. This Lada is losing damage as well. We can hear a vehicle.
Super neat. And an 8 super clean.
Good knock there for Elusive as they try to clear off this beach and maintain control back onto this. Lado tried to, I think, help out Roth in this situation. Is going to struggle a bit to get this res. Meanwhile, Sonic's coming up on duels. They catch them on this rotation. They've come down off Quarry, and they're looking for points here, as we can see. Looks like Livid has actually been found as well by Relo. Oath holding on to this as well, and now this is going to put them in a little bit of a tricky situation. Cherry sandwiched between both of these squads.
Yeah, these are not the squads you want to be sandwiched against either. Oh, but he almost finds a knock there. That's going to give Shrimsy the information. Should be able to clean up Cherry fairly easily here.
Ooh, a good cleanup there from Sonics as Cherry goes out. Oath is still in this area, and the circle is...
Chunk of what's left in the forest.
Ooh, and a little bit of a peek there from Shrimsy and H1. Shrimsy's actually going to go down. Relo finds the angle on Mime, pushing him back just a bit. We can hear the nades come out now. Oh, it's Mime with a good hit on Relo. Can't find the knock, down to 48 HP, but more smokes are out. As he tries to stay alive into this, we can see Sonic's going wide. They're trying to bully Oath back down, and 2 down for them so far. Is just not looking good for them here. And meanwhile, Blue starting to close, and that's going to put the pressure in from behind on Oath. This is phase 5, and that Blue zone is going to really hurt there. As we see Balefrost and Relo kind of on the edge out here.
And that was a beautiful hold from Oath. I mean, it was a 3v4 initially, got a nice...
Taking a look over at Sonics, who are still trying to hold the high ground. Mime is actually going to get a knock onto Taylor J. That's a good opener for them as they try to take the rest of the push here to the Wizard Tower. It's going to get a lot of damage. Vehicle explosion, but it is not enough to get that final knock here onto Pat Cass. He is just going to send it. Pat is going to have to immediately heal, and now is the time to strike. The door is closed, looks for the angle, jump through the window, finds it there. There you have it. Prime time, Mime time. Exodus goes out in 10th, and a little bit of a celebratory fire there onto the body of Pat Caps.
That was actually a really dirty jump shot coming out from Mime. And he's going to secure that position.
Top of them as they were able to get the reses here, but immediately Dodge picking up that knock there. And Marcelic take advantage of this.
And Dodge, ATC,
so
and Carnage are all going to have to fight for this little chunk of hill, basically on the northwest side of that center compound that Hardships find themselves in. As we see Marcelic trying to get shots, he's not going to get the knock, though.
No, but that's good information for them to know exactly where Sonics are, as they do have to continue onward to get into the zone. Sonics just on the edge here, and ATC, who are 3 strong, are going to try to hold it. There's still 3 other teams to the north, as we can see here, Dodge and Carnage. Patrick as well for Clueless in this area as well. Fina, though, looking for the angle. Can he find it there onto Delta? Maji in front of him as well. A couple free fire shots, but Delta gets the knock and the return. Dodge loses 1 right here, and there's not going to be any time for a res, so that's going to be it for Finna, who stays out of play. Picked up as well by Delta. Secure the kill, but at distance. Profi taking 1 member out from Carnage here.
What a thief, and what beautiful shots coming out. They're still fighting, but look at Aguila slowly sneaking up on Profi and Mime, the last 2 members of Sonics.
Ooh, I mean, you've got to want it here. ATC has been playing so well, and there you have it. Aguila finds 1 knock. Profi goes down, but immediately Mime on the trade. As we can see now as well, Winnie gets lost. ATC down to just Marcelic, but clearing up the north. Patrick falling as well. Oath picking up at a distance. And look at this, Carnage Gaming going out in 8th, but there is downed bodies everywhere. And I don't think there's any time for reses on any of these players.
I'm going to be honest, Mime is an animal with that SKS, which also happens to be my favorite gun. So I'm a huge Mime fan right now, and he's rapid firing that, by the way. That SKS with full attachments is, just such a beauty to use.
I couldn't agree more. Probably my favorite DMR, but now we see Sonic's actually looking for the res. Oh,
I'm so confused. I thought he was using an SKS. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, well, here you go. Look at this. Oath now in the zone. They've still got the south, as they are waiting for that zone. Playing the center for his own, and Hardships again are going to have this, but immediately Maluk found out by Balefrost, and Snakers picked off by Profi, so it's a trade right here between Sonics, Oath, and Hardships.
Really could potentially actually bait some of the members of Hardships, especially if they want to go for Luke or decide to. It doesn't look like any of the members have, and now we have Dodge coming in on the other side, the north side of this compound, so this is getting very, very, very condensed quickly.
Oh, and Relo as well, still very open to the Sonics, who are alive, working their way in the zone. Oh, a very risky Volt. Mime and Profi trying to hold a bit of the high ground. Dodge have a little compound to themselves, and Lobes out in the small house is J-Sank and Chubba in the warehouse. But what is left of Oath is really needing to... I mean, it's just Relo at this point. Everybody else is out, and now as the circle kind of pushes a little bit away, you've got Comet still 4 up, but kind of on the edge as well.
Yeah, I mean, Relo is definitely not a bad choice as far as the last player you want alive for your team. I think Oath recognized very early that they were pretty much just going to have to send 1 or 2 there, and they sent Relo early, and so he's going to survive. And he's not in the worst position. It's just if he gets found out. Ooh, shots coming out though. And Profi. Oh, at the same time.
Oh,
synchronized dying.
Yeah, that's the clip of the week, right? Comets are not the only threat here. You've still got Dodge 3 up to the north, and there you go. Lobes is going to find Sub-Zero, immediately picking up that flush. It is not looking good for Comets right now. Oh, he actually goes down as well.
He didn't have to prone there. He actually could have just found himself some cover. I don't know if that was a misplay or intentional, but it's just going to leave D-Treats and Victor now. They might be able to get Yaxley up, but with pressure from Hardships, I'm not sure if they can.
Ooh, and for a moment as well, I think Crop had a side on this as Dodge is going to throw some nades into here. Relo, meanwhile, has moved just a little bit, trying to stay alive from the circle, is going to find Lobes in that angle, and that's going to take 1 more away from Hardships, who aren't going to have any chance to help out on this. Meanwhile, we see Dodge starting to extend themselves, waiting for that movement coming in from Comets, who are starting to run out of real estate as the blue closes in. That's going to push them north, but look at this. Crop's got line of sight. D-Treats, however, trying to lay it in as Crop is down very low, but could not find the knock here. Meanwhile, oh, there we go. D-Treats, doesn't find it here. Monty is low, but not low enough. As Yaxley is actually going to get found again. That is deadly. Oh, there you go. The knock it right up in front. Monty gets him out. Comets go out. 3 teams strong, but Reno is the last one still up. It is a 1v1v2 situation between all of these squads, but now Hardships have to come out.
Oh, look at this now. Chubba and J-Sank out. They are moving. That's a flash coming out for Chubba. That's the blue. But Relo!
Relo's got a good angle on this. Is going to find one. Knock on Chubba. Finds the second one, and yet again! Oath with 14 kills. Honestly, I was not expecting this. They really struggled rotating here late in the game, but they pulled it off. Relo with picking their normal drop spots of Nova and Sosnovka compounds. And as we kind of wait for the rest of the teams to leave out, not seeing anything too chaotic. And you know what? This is a good flight path again. We're seeing it kind of stay central, putting everything into play. There should be plenty of time for these teams to get themselves situated. We wait for that first circle to pop and give us the idea of whether or not we're going to have one more toxic circle for Erangel before we switch back to Miramar.
I mean, would you consider the last circle toxic? It wasn't great. I'll say that. But toxic? I don't know. They've been given the circle, and they need to do something with it, something at all. But, what is this?
Oh, there you go.
McCoy.
Take that freebie. But look, Livid's down here as well. We've got 3 squads, 1 little area. McCoy down to 24 is going to try to heal, but here comes the push right now. And, can he find him? Fudge getting McCoy down to 14. Can't get the knock just yet. Couple bits of pre-fire immediately. Again, first aid, but that is going to really diminish the meds here for McCoy, and his teammates aren't here to help as Fudge is going to pick this up, immediately get the clean. But look, Exodus is on the other side of this, and they're really preventing Waldo and Batty from helping out. But Punich and Taylor J are downed on this as well. Only Drassel on this area. Pat Caps on the other side of the crossroads doesn't have an angle on this.
I'm so confused. How did this happen? How did these teams end up? So no one really stops here on this side of the peninsula unless they're like camping the bridge. And oh my god, what a grenade from Waldo! But this is 2 separate fights for Radiance.
There you go, and a push from Drassel, not yet with the res. Wants to clear out what's left of Radiance. He finds Waldo. It's another out. Los HD is nowhere to be found. There you go. 2 kills for Exodus. But,
I'm sorry, Clover. You set me up for that Where's Waldo? He found him.
Sneak attack's gonna lend a bit of damage. Monty trying to get out of there unscathed. As we see now, it is Snow Patrol who's in a bit of trouble as here comes Clueless NHS finding the knock on Sneak Attack, but now bullets coming in from multiple directions as I think should get this res off, but they've got to worry about Dodge now who's walking up onto this as well.
Yeah, Dodge now going to be coming in from the north, trying to get a little more frisky here as they push onto Snow Patrol. But Hershey's going to be holding them back a little bit, at least stalling them so they can recover. Oh, Hershey's down. I lied. And
a kill feed is blowing up right now as multiple teams find themselves in it. But here comes the push from Dodge. Reno trying to get that flush. Will find it onto Hershey. Crawfish is still down onto this ridge, but doesn't quite have the angle on this. It's up to Mitchy Boy and Sneak Attack to try to grab it here from the side. It looks like Mitchy Boy is going to get a knock onto Reno. Nice headshots. They've got to fully commit to this. And Clueless again taking more fire onto this fight.
Yeah, Clueless has been a nuisance for Snow Patrol. They're trying to fight Dodge, and they're still getting shot in the back. They got a knock, but they're going to lose Hershey, and I'm pretty sure Reno is going to get recovered, unless Crawfish can do something about it here.
He is in nade range, but now Sneak Attack's going to take out Crop. That's 2 down. Finna left all by himself. Monte's on a different angle and position from this, but just can't quite see anything from where he's at. Crawfish, meanwhile, is going to lie in, kind of protect this just a bit, but Finna throwing out mollies, throwing out smokes, but there's nobody there to really take it. Crawfish is just a bit farther than he aimed for. Maybe Monty could see from here. Inside the prison, and Crawfish, I think, taking a look at this as well, wondering what happened here. And Sneak Attack has been found by Monty. We're down to just 2 up for Snow Patrol. Dodge regrouped. They've gotten all the reses out of this as well. It's Snow Patrol who looked good at the start of this fight. What happened, Mitchie?
Did his shoe get caught on the gas pedal? Like, I don't understand. He just sent it straight into prison. And then looking at that shift, it looks like we are going to get a little bit of a wacky circle again. As it went as far east as possible. Oh, what happened here? Elusive.
Clueless is going to be interesting. I don't know if Elusive realizes that Clueless has the angle right here. Oh, so close.
What is the play here? I mean, priming the grenade is one thing. It's difficult in the situation that NHS is in because you can listen for things like reloading or priming a grenade, but I mean, popping open that door and not knowing exactly where people are or the enemy is, I mean, it's rough. You essentially get yourself knocked, and look at this. Fizzle's holding that angle anyway, so
capitalize on some of this. So, you're right. NHS really in a tricky position, but has been spotted out. The door's blown out, 47 HP, but Zenith has the angle here. Kickstart taking a couple of shots, but that ridge line is going to help him out as he wraps back around, and a failed nade is going to bounce out. Luckily, he will not take any damage from that, but here comes the rest of Sonics, and you're going to have to clean this up pretty quick.
They're just holding these. I mean, there's really nothing for Elusive to do but just try to survive. I mean, Clueless can't really make the push either because they're at risk of being shot by Zenith unless they use smoke. And I don't know if they want to use the utility considering NHS is
Milta Power, Milta, the Peninsula, and that's it. And as we pull away from that water, it's going to prove point. But here we go. ATC has come to join the fight now as Reno is going to get knocked and flushed there. Maru picks that up. And here comes the hard push from any trolls in chat as they try to take over the high ground. We've still got Snow Patrol inside
a Dacia on top of prison roof, and they're going to be very confused. Oh, Marcelik going to take one to the head as well, so he's going to have to heal it up. No big deal.
And there you go. ATC starting to pull away as we take a look at the circle, see where it's going to shift, and we are going to power. And look, Oath, they've made it back across the water, rotating in from Nova. They've got down at the bottom of this. Drassel and Poonage, they're just going to leave it for now.
I think that more than 50% of the circle is actually water. I really think if not more, it's at least half of the circle is water. So this is, I mean, for as late as phase 3, there is really there's not that much to play. So these teams coming in late or even coming in now.
He is going to pull away from Prison, looking to rotate in as well, but they're getting very close to a couple different squads as they're taking on a lot of fire from Zenith. Meanwhile, in the distance, we can see Patrick actually get knocked by Mime. So there's so many teams in such a small spot. And there we go, Roth with a nice nade onto Winnie, but at distance, Duel is actually going to land some damage onto here as well. And Wooly going to find the knock onto Winnie, but Zenith could steal this right now if they just could get the angle.
Zenith needs to take care of this team immediately. They need to, once they get this team off of their east side, nice nade from Kickstart. Yeah, they need to get rid of them immediately because they don't want to have to deal with them later when they can slowly start to creep in and be in the little, the cracks and divots that Mini Milta does tend to have for solo or duo players. So very nice on them to get rid of them early. As Exodus actually is rotating towards Big Milta.
There we go, and Exodus just about finding Sanctuary into the Big Milta as we again see Zenith looking for an angle. Kickstart trying to spot out Aguila. More throwables, I think, of Molly this time, but it's just going to go too far.
Yep.
Oh, but there you go. He has been found. And that's it for any trolls in chat. 2 points for Zenith, but it is Sonics who's...
Mini Milta is just such a strong position to hold from.
Oh, Magi running himself over at the worst time. Victor is actually going to take that one for free. Is Carnage down to 2? Is going to be kind of trapped here.
Sit there, maybe met a couple ticks and then leave, but I imagine that car is also going to get taken out, so...
Snow Patrol caught off their push as well. They went wide around Lipovka. Mitchy Boy and Crawfresh are the last still up, and this Crawfresh is actually on the other side of the zone, all the way to the far west. As Snaker's getting a couple shots, will find the knock onto Mitchy Boy, and that's going to be an easy cleanup for Oath as they take another one here. And there you see Crawfresh 13 HP, but he's got side as well as Mime is going to pick it up. That's finally a kill on the board for Sonics, and we can see still as well teams fighting their
taken. I think that would be their next move. They're technically in, but they're very edged, and then after that, they're not going to have anything to play. So I'm interested to see what Duel does. They're still in there, though.
Ooh, Comets are going to find a trade there. Victor will get flushed, but looks as well from a distance. Hardship's got a knock in this as well. Ripper is still down. Delta pushing back for the res. We could see Zenith even with an eye on this as well. So
a chance, yeah. He actually, Ripper is going to go down finally, but that's giving Delta a little bit of room to move here, and he could make a big play, especially with how stacked up Comets are right now.
Ooh, and I think right now the only thing Delta truly zero, Delta down to 23 HPs. As you can see, the Comets got a little bit comfortable, kind of forgot about the enemy to their backs, but now their attention is set that way. As you see, smokes are out, and they just want to make sure that Delta can't do any more. This is phase 5. Delta's on the edge, and that blue is going to be very, very damaging to him. So all Comets need to do is just be patient, watch that kill feed, and wait for what's left of this. Oh, but with Zenith.
This Kickstart going for an angle. I mean, they hear the shots. They have to know that, oh no, J-Sync. Not like this. Wait, is Lobes? I don't know.
Oh, where do you go?
What has happened here? What has happened here to Hardships?
Actually picked off there by Zenith. Now, Sonics put a lot of pressure on the Hardships. The J-Sync took a lot of fire, but it was the zone ultimately that got the knock. As we can see, Profi has actually been knocked down as well. But
all that Zenith is holding in Mini Melta, I'm not sure.
Ooh, Patrick finds Fizzle, gets the knock. These two teams have been at it for quite a while. Jay all day, the last still alive inside, trying to put the pressure here onto Patrick, as Nitrogen is actually going to get found out by Zenith. And another quick med trying to stay alive, as I think might lose it here. And Sonics are going to take full advantage of this, trying to rotate as well. Trimsy actually is going to get knocked and go down, and H-Twin just narrowly getting here into the corner, trying to make sure not to get spots. So Sonics are going to lose one out on this rotation. Found themselves safe for right now. We can see, though, right up ahead, it is, oh no, Zenith. H-Twin picks it up.
Oh my goodness. Take your time for a second. Wouldn't please.
And they're going for the res as well, are trying to pick up Shrimsy. Stay 4 strong, smokes are out.
They didn't want to avoid that fight, but I really have to give it up to Sonics. I mean, having one knocked, all things considered, wasn't that bad. Kickstart going to find win, but man, what a recovery from them.
Ooh, and if that had been a nade, would have done more damage. It was a flash. You see Shrimzy trying to hold that angle. Here comes the hard push coming in from Sonics now, as we can see Zenith up on the roof. And Profi might actually be... Oh, there we go. Finds out Roth immediately picking up that flush as well. Shrimzy might be going for the res on this as well. It's phase 6. Circle is starting to close. They've got to act fast. And Rule taking a couple of shots from the backside. But that's all the information that they need about how they're going to play this going forward. Meanwhile, Comets tried to rotate into Big Tower, are going to get caught off guard by Oath. And Kickstart immediately stealing that kill. Actually, 6 so far for Zenith. They've had sight on the circle for a while now, and they have picked up so many stealing kills from other teams. So you can see Sub-Zero goes out to them as well, and all that hard work by Oath unfortunately stolen away.
Yep, but that is going to buy them room, and that realistically is the most important thing. That would have been a nice molly had he still been there, but yeah, Oath going to buy themselves a little bit of room. They really need to be careful about their north. They have to hear any shots, or they have to be listening for any shots that happen there, because they're very much open to Exodus if they decide to open up on them.
Ooh, and Kickstart goes down. Profi picks up another. Sonics are slowly taking this back into their own, as we see Mystery and Leda both try to stay up as they...
Whatever team wins this fight here at Benny Melta is just going to get fed to Oath in the end. I mean, it's going to be very rough for them to get out. Ooh. And nice knock. Profi is on fire this game.
Profi finding another one, knocks out Mystery. There's not going to be any time for a res, but immediately Sonic's looking for the angle. They know this is where they're at. Not even worried about the flush right now. They just want to get the finish. There we go. Actually, will find the flush, but immediately Zenith trying to make a push here. Can they stay alive? But, I mean, where? But there you go. Mime's actually going to grab a car. I think Sonic's play might be to send it. Oh, there you go. Patrick's been found. There they go.
Yeah, they're not going to make an open run. I think this is kind of their best option. They may try to split and get as many people. That crate actually might... No, I don't know if the backside of it is in. So realistically, a vehicle send, if they can manage it, is great. But as you can see, I mean, Balefrost ripping Leda apart, eliminating Zenith. Anyone that goes outside those walls is going to be an easy target.
And as Sonics prepare for their next move, a little bit of fire onto Oath. We can see now Duel is coming into the backside of Radiance. Los is still on this as well. Opportunity for Upset, can steal the kill. We see him thinking about it just a bit as Wooly runs for the res onto Tony V. Is going to immediately steal that, tries to find the knock, gets it, but not before down to 42 HP himself. 3 kills for Radiance, tried to pick it up. There you go, 4. But now Punage.
Can he make it? Oh, he does!
Oh, 7 HP in the zone, in behind cover, but Lampalot just on the other side of this. And here we go. Sonics found safety as well. That knock on Snakers is huge. Relo looking for the angle. You can see Exodus holding on to the edge of zone, waiting for the last moment to push in. They are very aware of Oath is present in front of him, as we can start to see what's left of Sonics fall apart. Mime is actually pulled back to the car. It's providing a little bit of hard cover, but still shots in his direction. We can see Mime down to half health as the push coming in now from Oath. Drassel, meanwhile, immediately finding out Lampalot. That's it for Duel. They go out in 5th, and Smoke's walls are out as what's left of Exodus as well needing to push this wall. This wall is really the only cover that some of these teams have right now.
Oath is 4 up, mind you. They're not only are they 4 up, but there's realistically only a duo left against them and solos, so they're in a fantastic position. Also, Los is going to get found. Drassel.
Uh-oh. Oh? Did we crash?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this right now. If Oath wins this game, they will be the second team to win 3 in a row. The first one was, I believe, Zenith. So realistically, Oath was in a phenomenal position to take that. I believe they did, which would be an astronomical start to this week, or this final week, I should say.
This entire event so far, Erangel Circles have been super, super wacky, and so I do want to watch the Miramar games, which generally have tamer circles only because the lack of rivers, the lack of straits, and real actual islands that impact games more as often as the military island does.
Saying real actual island.
Yeah,
the way that the circles.
Yeah, I might have just anchored them. They might have just wanted to pull the circle to themselves. Now they're technically items, I guess. So they're islandlets.
After what me and Poro saw in the Challenger series, where we had that southern bridge just to the east of Los Higos be a factor, I am terrified. But you can see that there is. going to be everybody hopping inside the vehicles. So we were kind of worried about the circles, but it looks like it's kind of calming
we're
down.
fine. As a river being dead center, but it'll still be interesting to see what happens, because if it shifts up north, there's obviously going to be the North Picado Plateau, I guess you want to call it. It's going to be really impactful. If it shifts south, it's going to be the whole ridge south. But no, being a little antsy, maybe trying to catch a little sneaky peek. At least Mitchy Boy is, but he doesn't spot anything, and so he's gonna.
Well, Snow Patrol is holding up this high point right now, and they can looking back. Decided, hey, it's clean, it's open here, so let's go ahead and make our way up just a little bit more. And there's the problem, as shots are now starting to come back out. That is a quick pickup as 2 members of Duel instantly drop out, and the other 2 members have to figure out what they're going to do next, and it looks like a full-on retreat.
Just bail. That's the only option there. Maybe if they got both their members behind that RV, maybe if they only lost one of them, and Tony Veer was able to also get behind and stay alive, but unfortunately, losing 2 there, the only option is to 180, get out of there, find someplace else. I don't know if that was a lack of proper scouting, because that compound can be a little difficult to properly spot into, especially because a lot of Snow Patrol were pushing directly onto J-Sane.
Hardships. Got to be very careful off that one. Quickly losing J-Sank. Luke retreats away from this, just running away, as is Carnage's vehicle. You can see the truck running off into the distance. He's having to jump out. This is now their new home. This is their dip, but the problem is they've got 2 different duos of Radiants that could have sightlines onto them. Ripper already down. You can see damage starting to come out from the vehicle explosion. They're going to need to find some way to get a little bit of breathing room, and they're going to try to do that with smokes, but that is a lot of utility being used very early.
Where can they even go? I don't even think they can use either of their vehicles, and they're not getting shot by anyone outside of Radiance so far, but that's only going to last so long, because when teams start getting closer, there's going to be more third parties on this position. It's not that strong of a dip. They've already lost Ray God. Maybe they could pick him up. They were able to revive Ripper, which I think is already very, very shocking. But Carnage need to try and find some way to get out of this situation. But look how aggressive Los has gone. He's not going to give them the chance. Already taken down Delta.
Good shots coming out from Los. Slowly creeping his way forward. Does have an angle for this, trying to figure out. Does spot it out. Gets a little bit more damage. That's going to be some assistance from Batty Lol, just tapping those in there. Carnage now in a lot of trouble. Only 3 members up and active, and Delta barely counts. Maji's down to about a 3rd life. Waldo's starting to get a little bit more aggressive on this, but look at Los. He's trying to use the vehicles that Carnage themselves are using for cover and huddle them all together so that way Waldo can creep up on the other side. The moment Waldo pops up, it's going to be bad. Shots coming up on one side, back over towards the other. He's already got 2, and there you go. Radiance just destroys Carnage.
Listen, I appreciate Carnage trying to defend
over towards the west. You can see Elusive's rolling right up next to Dodge. Quick spray going ahead, coming out from Finna, gonna take down Fizzle. But there are about 3 other teams along a similar path over here. Theris is playing the hills up on top of where we see Dodge playing, but Clueless hears this, spots it out, and is now rotating away. But there are not a lot of good rotation options from this point forward.
Ooh, nades coming out onto Elusive. I like Dodge's position. It is very much a let's catch rotations, let's get some kills, and, well, they need it if they want to continue to climb up the leaderboard. Elusive not finding the opening that they want. Checking for Monty's
like they're trying to figure out exactly. They heard the vehicles
forward.
coming up from Elusive back behind them, and I think that stalled them just a touch. Not Elusive, but sorry, Clueless coming up from back behind them. So Clueless now going ahead and grabbing that foothold. But that's now put 4 teams all within a couple of 100 meters of each other very quickly. And phase 3 right now, have to be very cautious. Yeah. And you can see a ladder either way. Everybody back over here towards the southwest is going to have to figure out some way to make their way up and forward through that very nasty hillside that we were just talking about a second ago. Snow Patrol finds themselves in a beautiful gatekeeping position. The problem is,
aggressive and push this, or do they want to just wrap up and actually get into the circle? Oh, grenade by NA. He's going to make the decision. He's going super aggressive. He's not waiting. He knows there's someone else in that building, but he's going aggressive anyway. That's Monty down now as well, bleeding out. And Elusive has stolen this position, but Clueless, they're in vehicles and they're driving away. So this does give Elusive potentially an opportunity, but where is the other duo from Dodge?
Oh, but Livid has heard this. Soup is creeping up back behind it. Might find an angle that Elusive is not prepared for, so got to be careful. D-Sock looking back over here. Jay All Day also playing along the outside. The moment Soup decides to take any action is going to be very problematic for Elusive. Really, all of these teams need to start moving very quickly. The blue is coming up. I think that it feels like Innate has a beat on what's going on, has an idea that Soup's back behind him, but has to be very careful under this. Radiance now making their way up along this hillside, could find themselves walking right into hardships, as well as the remnants of Zenith. Roth, who's having pretty decent day so far. We've seen him popping off quite a bit. Gonna go ahead and opt away from this position instead. Go ahead, play these hills, play these divots, make your way up. And now it's just kind of become a climbing battle as McCoy is trying to get ahead of Roth to find that high ground point. Good tap shots coming out from him, and there you go. Good spray coming out, and Zenith goes down at 14.
7 kills for Radiance already, and it's not even
Go for the peak. Doesn't want to go aggressive just quite yet, but now going to go ahead and look back over onto the other angle. Comet still just trying to make their way forward. They've got 2 members that are still not yet in the safe zone, trying to get a couple of shots back over here, but nothing is penetrating this offensive line coming out from any trolls in chat. Finally, Marcelic takes a little bit of damage. Gonna have to peek back away from this, but now Comets has one opening in front of him, but Oath isn't capitalizing off the other side. They might actually be able to make something out of this by just the skin of their teeth.
Ooh, there it is. Right when you said that, you can see the traces in the minimap from Oath, but the angle isn't that strong. Comets are still standing. Marcelic does finally go down. We see the kill feed light up with Elusive being eliminated. Their fight against Clueless not going the way that they wanted. Neutrals in chat under a bit of pressure. The revive should come through. It should continue to be a 4v4 right now, and both these teams are just going to wait for the circle to close and the next circle to reveal itself to know what their game plan is. Did he actually hit that? It was a chest shot, but still, like, tag's a tag.
Just trying to pop him out there. As you can see, Comets kind of have a little bit of trouble in front of them. They're going to need to move forward from this point, and it's pretty wide out in the open. ATC does have a little bit of a position that they can play. 2 members already down for the Comets right now. It's just tap shots coming up from Sub-Zero trying to get something out of it. Going to be a little bit of a problem coming over here for Snow Patrol as they go ahead and get pounced on. It's going to be Radiance and Hardships a fight in order to res at least one of his teammates. But Chuba looks like he's more caught up in looting at this time, so it might provide a little bit of an opportunity for Los to creep his way over here and manage to make at least one of these reses happen. Gonna see Waldo up ahead, got his head around the corner, feeding information back over toward the res. So that way you can see Batty little pop back over here. Chuba hasn't quite taken.
Going to be just wide open, as you can see immediately. Where's Crop even going to go? They got to land these shots. It's going to be Poonage lighting up the kill feed, and Reno does go down to Cherry. It's all on the Crop's shoulders right now, and he's going to get eliminated by Lister. So Dodger out in 11th place.
Trying to play on the backside of what we've got going on here. Atheris taking a couple of shots. Mardonis, Lister, last 2 back over here. Pat's got a side angle onto it, trying to drop a couple of grenades right into the lap of Mardonis, but he does manage to get a little bit of breathing room. Realizes, touch, too hot. Gonna hop on the motorcycle, run it back out in the blue for just a second, try to reposition. Lister goes down. Mardonis last one up for his squad. He knows if he goes down at this point, but he's running blind from here on. Has to run up this hillside. Might find himself a little bit of a dip to play, but has to be careful. Clueless Pistol Time might have an angle for it. So instead, opts over, switches to the bolt, being patient with it, and says, no, the moment I take the shot is the moment I'm going to get spotted, but it doesn't matter anyway. Looks like Mardonis has just decided, hey, I'm going to run back out, maybe manage to make it over the motorcycle. This is ticking for a ton of damage, but not a lot can happen. Oath goes down on the other side of this. His body's just rolled down the hillside. ATC coming up on the top of that fight.
Yeah, I actually like this. ATC, they bailed from that sort of love triangle that we saw just a couple of moments previously, get into the circle, and they beat Oath towards that angle, forced Oath to come into them, held that ridgeline, and just deleted them. They did take some casualties, though. You can see there's only 2 of them left. But now they have the circle shift onto them. As long as they can hold their angle, 2v4 versus Comets is not going to be the easiest you can see on the map. But if they can hold that, they could have a chance to, I'd say, win the game, or at least place very well.
It's a very strong position. Sonic's already got an inside track as well. Over towards the north, you can see Exodus playing it pretty well. One of the members for ATC is down. That's going to be Winnie off a good shot from Sub-Zero. So
not a good start.
Comets using this opportunity, running up and forward. You can see this is the reason they've been a little bit hesitant. They don't want to just have to run across every single one of the dips. Rez does come back up. So 2 members of ATC looking back over towards the 4 of Comets. Comets been in a firefight this whole time. They walk up, instantly knock down Winnie. A lot of damage back over towards Aguila, who is just running it as far away and as fast away as he can, trying to find some point that he can make a little bit more defensive. But Winnie's going to drop off to the side of this, and it's going to be Exodus taking shots. Now Aguila caught between 2 different teams, but it's going to be the shots coming out from Poonage. Going to stop Comets, force them to retreat back away from this just a touch. Victor does manage to pick up the kill, and I think the Comets are going to use this opportunity, pick up a little bit more loot, and get themselves a little bit of breathing time, because by God, they have been fighting for forever. They've now put themselves between two different teams. Are they going to manage to find somewhere to work with? And no, Batty Lol does go down. Only one up onto it. Meanwhile, on the other side of this, mutually assured destruction happened out as Profi has to take a little bit of damage running back up as Clueless just runs right up into his face. But a couple of shots now coming out from NHS on the other side. Profi somehow still clinging to life in this little bit of a dip. Molotovs and dead bodies galore around him.
NHS does finally go down. Team Clueless out in 6th place. 5 teams left. Sonic's one of them. Only 3 remaining. 5.
Need to creep up right back
Sneak
behind
attack,
it.
sneak
Him
attack.
and Cherry sneaking up back behind this. Gets a shot onto one of them. That's an instant drop. The spin comes back around from Axis. Trying to get a couple of tap shots back over towards Wooly. Trying to slow creep this out. Drops down. Good drop coming out from Cherry. Hits the grenade right on top of Taylor J. But now it's going to be Pat Caps having to hold the line. He's got that little bit of a hill to play. Trying to get the close range shots off. Does manage to get one of them. Has to be careful as Wooly's trying to play this up and forward. Nice shots coming out from Cap. But it's going to be the last one up and alive, and he still has the Comets to contend with and a very long run in front of him. Luckily, still a couple of smoke blooms up on top of it.
Able to survive. Comets on the low ground, but 3 members remaining have a good chance in this. It's actually now a 3v3v1. Now that Pat is gone, and it's just Los from Radiance left on the south side and Sonics on the west.
Well, you were talking numbers and stats earlier, and we can see Sonic's playing a strong position right now. Got a good grip on what's happening in the circle. Gets a couple of good shots back over towards Sub-Zero. Got to get the knock onto him. So now Yaxley and the rest of the crew have to figure out how they're going to handle that. It's going to be him and Victor still up like that high ground positioning. Going to make it very difficult. Finally, Los does get spotted out, turning this into a pure 3v3. Yaxley says, okay, I can't get the high ground. Instead, opts towards playing these rocks. Get a little bit of a dip to work with. So with this, you can see they're starting to try to get a little bit more center control. Comets does have a very difficult task ahead of them, but they're hitting a couple of pieces of tap damage back over towards the Sonics. H-Win, Mime, just playing that high ground so well. Profi hopping in the vehicle. We've seen him do this so many times. Hop in here, move off to the side of it, find a side angle. That's going to be another member of Comets going down. Profi's got a beautiful sightline back over towards him. Are they going to be able to defend this? It's all on to Comets. They cannot let Profi do a massive amount of damage. Already one member down. Profi's got the angle on one side of it. Can Victor do anything to stop what's happening to him? He has near on no cover to work with. He's got the blue behind him. He is firmly surrounded at this point. He has to shoot his way out of here. Profi's got the side angle back over towards it, trying to hit the tap shots onto it, but it's not going to be enough. Profi and the Sonics walk away with a win and 11 kills.
I mean, once Profi was on that side angle, once VZ, I think it was VZ.
I'm just happy that Clover has been using her powers to make all the evil circles happen. I was having a lot of players that were starting to get on to me about the fact that they didn't like me to cast their games because I always brought the crazy circles around. So, now the curse has been passed.
Passed on to see. That's really why she was brought into the fold. We got to have someone else to be the scapegoat.
It's all part of the master strategy.
Did I say the quiet part out loud?
Yeah. All right. Well, no surprise. Sonics landing back over next to Mikado. Should have some unruly neighbors back down towards the south who managed to get first blood onto him. Is going to be Radiance. But really, everybody has their eyes on where this first circle is going to go.
What's happening to Los Leones? It's like should be. I wonder how much Oath was able to hear about that pull-up. You can see Oath are holding a 2-2 split right now. On basically 2 opposite sides of Leadership.
Into a good point, trying to take a couple of shots, is going to be able to knock down Aguila. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, you can see Zenith's reinforcement starting to come in. Another member of ATC instantly dropping out, and this is turning up everything in Zenith's favor. They are just walking through ATC right now. One member
I thought
still
ATC
up,
had this. They had the advantage.
Yeah, only Winnie is alive right now. Gets spotted out, and just like that, easy peasy, Zenith takes this one away.
Didn't see exactly how that fight started, but
he does barely manage to get away with this, trying to get back down next to the wall. Oh, almost does manage to make it, but no, it's going to be Snakers off the side. Has a beautiful piece of vision, does manage to connect onto Roth. So now you can see Zenith starting to make their way back over to a point that they just claimed, turning it back around, now trying to figure out, do they defend Roth? Do they make a play off of it? Oath has a lot of different points that they can play right now and trying to use that, taking shots on Zenith as they're trying to regroup. It looks like they've decided, okay, we just have to get away from this point. We're just going to have to leave a teammate behind. Give this one up over to Oath, but New Circle has popped. Minas General is still a part of it. La Bendita is still a part of it, and a huge section of wide open terrain back down towards the southeast.
I want to say that that was Oath baiting Relo with the vehicles, pretending that they drove away and fully retreated, but they only drove away a couple of meters and actually left 1 or 2 players on that hill to see if anyone gets aggressive and peeks over, and well, they find Roth doing so. The circle shift is also heavily in their favor. It's not as good of a compound as the one that Zenith retreated to. They're towards the east. This is really the only path that they can take to get into the circle.
Yeah, they moved just a touch back over towards the east. They got a couple of shots coming up from them from the Theris, had to retreat. Now Livid has an angle back.
For the next phase to start, just wait it out. Defend your compound. It's going to be Livid pushing them in only a couple of moments, I believe. But yeah, so here's the junkyard engagement. Dodge isn't waiting around. They're going to continue to push as well. I think they're actually looping further north, close to Minas Generalis. It's where they are, just to the east of Minas. And the shift is going to be right on Zenith. I told you that Zenith's compound was incredibly powerful despite losing Roth. And Oath might be a little upset because, in a way, they could have stolen that from them. But, hey, hindsight's 20/20, right?
Well, now it's just going to be wide out in the open. You can see the fight now breaking out between Livid and Radiance, and it's just going to be a hail of bullets meeting right up into Disciple as he tries to do the peek over the side on this. 2 members of Livid are now down. Nothing really too troublesome coming out from Radiance. I said they might have a little bit of a problem, but they handled it very efficiently and very quickly. So now Livid's remaining member has to run away from this point. No clear sight line, or no clear path to manage to make it back over into the circle. Keep in mind, most of it is kind of La Bandita. They were running a 4-man split all the way across this. Finally, Batty is going to connect with a couple of shots. Grenade going to ramp right down next to him as well. So now Sonic's instead going to step away, play back over towards the east. That's already inside the safe zone. Get control over that section of Crater and look back to try to take out Radiance as they make their approach.
Whoa! What just happened? Clueless.
I guess that rotation didn't pay off.
Exodus. Yeah, I guess not. I was trying to watch it on the map. Really hard to tell exactly what happened there. But still, good pickup for Clueless. But still, Radiance. We're watching their continued push, and it's a hard one for them as well. Yes, they were able to take out Profi, but the rest of Sonics have a full defensive line waiting. It's some big, burly football players. American football for Europeans who don't know what we're talking about. Just not letting any runners through.
Radiance is trying to find some weak point to make an approach. Sonic's firmly entrenched right now. They've got a lot of different pieces that they can play. They've got good protection. They can kind of peek up as they want to. Going to get a little bit of vision back over towards McCoy. Going for a peek over there. Now caught out into the blue. They have to be very careful on how they're wanting to approach this as we're getting later and later. So that's going to chunk for a little bit of damage. Going to be Huen hitting some good shots out of Waldo onto the side of that. McCoy still outside the blue, just trying to stay ahead of it right now. Loose dropping back down towards his belly, hoping that he has time to get the meds off as the blue is going to be approaching any second now. Going to get that away, but now has to run up into a very risky point. This is going to be very hazardous from him the moment he crosses up over in front of this. Mime has just moved it very aggressive, stepping up right over here next to everything that Radiance is trying to put out. There is nowhere for Radiance to really move. Battylol goes down as well. McCoy's the last guy standing, being the very first person being spotted, but that's not going to last for too much longer as Sonics go down. Or Sonics manage to take down Radiance.
Yeah, I mean, Radiance, they fall like a brick. Sonics don't just...
To split, they have to be cautious as Clueless could come up back behind them. They know it's going to have to be a run-and-gun fight as they make their way through here. Not a lot of good, clean territory up in front of them once they leave this complex. Our entrenched teams right now have to be very cautious as a couple of teams might opt into crashing them at any given moment. First one of those teams is going to be Comets, who do manage to sneak right over here next to Elusive, but they're going to have to be very careful because look back behind this, it's going to be Hardships. Comets do manage to get a little bit of a foothold, but this could be the distraction that could pay off huge for Hardships as they're rolling back down on this hillside, rolling right up next to this point that Elusive is trying to hold down, but with the distraction, look, it's just fire and gusto. They run in, guns a-blazing. Chuba already goes down. Maluk has to be careful. Going for the peek around this. Grenades are crashing down upon them. Hardships having to slowly move their way forward on top of this. They're opt into being a little bit slower with it. They don't want the aggression to kind of put them into a point where they can find themselves in a disadvantaged spot. Doesn't matter anyway. Now it's just going to be J-Sync, the last member up. He's got himself a vehicle fortress that he can try to work with, trying to get away from Elusive, but there's not a lot of good places that he can play right now. Just runs up, trying to go for the res, but the Molotov coming through. That's going to light them both on fire. Not anywhere that he can go for it. No water to roll around in, and he's going to go down. That's going to be it for the Hardships. Good defense coming up from Elusive.
Listen, there was no way that that push was going to be a simple one, but hold that thought because more pushes are happening. Oath are trying to take over Zenith's compound, and it's going back and forth, actually. I say that. Snaker's the only one left, but he can get a couple of revives because they're all in this compound. But the grenades coming out from Zenith are giving them really no room to maneuver. The push! The push from Leda!
Oh, gotta be careful as the grenade comes through, but lots of Molotov action. I love to see that. Every single time I see Molotovs just hitting players and I start running around panicking on fire, it just lights something inside of me. I love it so much. You can see Dodge running a little bit of a split off into the distance, trying to control a lot of the territory inside of this circle, but the problem is, also makes him a focal point. A lot of different teams trying to pinpoint, take shots every single time they take shots. Zenith now sitting at 10 kills, surveying the horizon that is up in front of them. Atheris can try to creep forward just a touch. Hopping on the motorcycle, has to be careful as they're moving into a very clustered section of the map. Looks like they're trying to get the res back over here towards Mardones, but they have to be very careful of it. H1 has himself an angle off to 1 point. Gotta be right into Darth. Quick headshots. Gotta tap him down real fast. Now, Atheris has a little bit of a recoil point that they have to figure out. Where did those shots come from? How can they defend themselves from it? Sonic still playing up along this high ground point, but do have themselves a foothold right next to the circle. But the problem, aggressive as well. Looks like they've spotted out a way that they want to try to play this, but it's not going to work out. H1 gets dropped out of his point, but you can see a couple of shots going back over towards how Dodge is playing this one out. Carnage still not yet inside the safe zone. Have to figure out how they're wanting to play this. Looks like they're moving back over towards their vehicles. Might play this a little bit more aggressive back toward the point, as it looks like that shack is going to become party central. It's going to be Carnage rolling straight up into it, hopping right back out, right next to the hay bales. It's going to be a quick exchange. Crop goes down near on instantly. Finna as well. And that's going to be exchange of hands, as now Carnage, while they did get the foothold, they lose a lot of their members. And now it's just going to be rolling in, trying to pick him up. But no, it's going to be jumping off the bike at the wrong time. Carnage eliminates themselves. Sonic see this and now starting to roll.
To play that dip, Sonic should just be shooting at them from the back, and that was a bit heartbreaking for Carnage, if I'm being honest, because they didn't have that bike prep to join up. You saw how separate the different heads, and maybe find a working vehicle or two.
Oh, Zenith.
That is, if Zenith don't, well, not even Zenith that has the angle. It's going to be an 8 that does, but Zenith, they're distracted from the east side by Duel and just take off Cherry's head.
Like that. It's trying to sneak around the side of this, going, hey, maybe we can sneak up over here, get a couple of shots into him. Zenith was waiting. At 11 kills, potentially more in just a second. They've got this hill, but it is not inside the safe circle, so they're going to have to move forward. That's why you can see a lot of smoke starting to come out. Instead, wanting to play maybe the side angle for it, but that means that Elusive could have an angle. It's all going to be about how Zenith opts into playing this right now. Duels Wooly says, nope, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not going to give you this point. I'm just going to run out into the blue zone. Now Atheris playing off of 1 point.
From one to the next.
Yeah, the problem is every single time you get to one of those rocks, somebody else is going to be in grenade throwing range or have an angle on top of it. Lata's life is very problematic where he's at. I like how you can see Fizzles brought his vehicle forward, using it for cover. Molotov starting to rain back down over to Atheris. There's nowhere to go. You just put yourself over an elusive sight line. A couple of tap shots, going to get a little bit more work out of that one. All right, Shrimsy, where are you going to go from here? Because you don't have a lot of good options left. Now, kind of starting to get a couple of side flank shots back over towards Zenith. Zenith now in a little bit of trouble. Lata did manage to make it back over towards that trailer, but Neron, nobody else did. Trying to get a couple more shots back over underneath of him, but finally it looks like Sonic's going to have a couple of shots get back over towards them and hope something goes favorable for them very quickly. Styles not having a point where he can really move yet. Too many people looking back over towards the angle. Zenith, I mean, Lata, what can you do? You've picked up so many kills. Can you pick up maybe one more? Styles goes down. Now it's all just onto Zenith. Trying to get a couple more shots back over, trying to get it down out of it, but there's just too many numbers running right up into his face. He tries to go for it, but no. 12 kills and Elusive coming up on top.
Styles needed to stay alive and maybe get at least one knock if